Have you ever noticed how just taking a deep breath can instantly calm you down, even when you're like right in the middle of a crazy busy day?
Oh, absolutely.
Or how, the right song pops on and it just completely shifts your mood, lifts you up. Or sometimes, weirdly, a sad song just feels right.
Exactly. It feels so simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it hints at something really profound happening inside us.
Yeah, these things we experience constantly, they seem almost automatic.
We do tend to take them for granted. We see them as just, reactions, but they're actually precise biological mechanisms at work.
Right.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something I find truly fascinating.
Yeah.
The intricate interplay happening inside your brain when you deliberately focus on your breath compared to when you get lost in different kinds of music.
We're talking the real science here, aren't we? How these everyday things actually shape our thoughts, our feelings, even our basic physiology.
Precisely. We want to unpack the specific brain regions lighting up, the cascade of neurochemicals getting released, and the really distinct effects that deep breathing versus, say, a love song or classical music have on you.
And we're comparing them, like head to head.
Comparing and contrasting, yeah. We've got a stack of really incredible research to pull from, aiming to give you the clearest possible picture.
Okay, so what's the goal? What should you, listening right now, expect to get out of this?
Well, you'll definitely walk away with some surprising facts. But more than that, hopefully a much deeper understanding of the tools you already possess.
Tools to influence how we feel.
Exactly. Tools to consciously influence your internal state. Whether you're looking for focus, maybe some energy, or that feeling of connection, or even just processing emotions.
Catharsis.
Yes, catharsis. It's really about being better informed about your own inner workings and, how to leverage them for your own well-being.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Breathing. We mostly think of it as, automatic, right? Something your body just does.
It is automatic, of course.
Yeah.
Keeps us alive without a thought.
But you're saying the intentional focus, that's different.
That's where the power lies. Intentionally focusing on your natural breath. It's an immediate, incredibly potent lever for influencing your brain and body.
More than just oxygen.
Much more. It's about consciously recalibrating your entire system from the inside out, actively bringing yourself back to a state of balance, optimal function.
So how does that work? Which parts of the brain are we talking about?
It's fascinating, actually. Deliberate breath focus engages some of the brain's most sophisticated control centers. Let's start with the prefrontal cortex.
Ah, the CEO. I've heard it called that.
That's a good way to put it, and for good reason. It's responsible for executive control, complex decisions, planning, and crucially for us today, attention regulation.
So focusing on breath engages that part.
Directly. When you deliberately choose to focus on your breath, the actual sensation of air moving, your chest rising and falling, those little pauses.
You're giving the CEO a job to do.
You're actively engaging and strengthening this critical area. It's not just about, getting things done in the moment. It helps build cognitive resilience.
Resilience against
distractions.
Exactly. It enhances your ability to prioritize information, filter out that constant stream of distractions we all face, and maintain a clear, goal-oriented mindset.
It makes your focus stickier, maybe. Less likely to wander off.
That's a great way to think about it. It strengthens your brain's command center, making focus less fleeting and more like an enduring state you can access.
Okay, so it's like a workout for your attention muscles, strengthening the part that keeps you on track.
Precisely.
And that connects to another area you mentioned, the anterior cingulate cortex, the ACC.
It connects beautifully, yes. The ACC is often described as the brain's internal monitoring system.
Like quality control.
Sort of. It's a critical player in error detection, conflict resolution, like when you have competing thoughts and sustaining focus over time.
So it notices when your mind wanders off the breath.
Exactly. Think of it like a finely tuned radar. It's constantly scanning, helping you identify and gently correct those lapses in attention. If your mind starts drifting to your to-do list or, what's for dinner, which it always does.
Right. The ACC helps you notice that internal signal. I'm thinking, not breathing, and guides your focus back.
So practicing breath work strengthens this radar.
It does. Engaging the ACC through consistent breath work allows you to maintain that steady, unwavering focus for longer periods. This directly reduces mental fatigue and helps you stay on task, even with challenging stuff. It builds mental endurance.
Okay, now this next one, the insula. This sounds really interesting. Like it bridges the gap between mind and body.
It absolutely does. This is where it gets really cool, I think. The insula is key to interoception.
Interoception. What exactly is that?
It's essentially your brain's profound ability to sense and interpret your internal bodily state, your inner world.
Ah, okay. So paying attention to breathing tunes you into that.
Literally. When you pay close, sustained attention to your breath, you are strengthening this fundamental connection between your mind and your physical self.
So you become more aware of your heartbeat.
Your heart rate, yeah. Subtle muscular tension you didn't realize you had. The specific physical sensations of the breath itself. Even like digestive activity. It's all internal data.
And being more aware of that helps.
Immensely. This heightened awareness of internal signals is a core pathway to deeper self-awareness. You start to feel truly in tune with your body.
Which leads to better emotional regulation.
That's the key link. You become more attuned to what's happening inside you. You might recognize the very early physical cues of stress or anxiety or frustration.
Before they get overwhelming.
Exactly. Which gives you far greater control over your reactions. You can intervene earlier, maybe take a few more conscious breaths before things escalate.
That makes a lot of sense. And then there's the big one people talk about in mindfulness circles, the default mode network. Quieting the monkey mind.
Yes, the DMN suppression. It's definitely more than just a buzzword. It's one of the most significant effects of focused attention, like breath focus.
So what is the DMN doing when it's active?
It's the network that's typically humming along when your mind is wandering. Daydreaming, planning, worrying, ruminating about the past, thinking about yourself.
Basically when you're lost in thought, not present.
Pretty much. When your brain is just doing its own thing, often without much direction. It's the network behind that incessant mental chatter, the what-ifs and should-haves and if-onlys.
That inner monologue that can be so loud sometimes?
That's the one. By consciously, deliberately focusing your attention on something neutral and present, like the physical sensation of your breath.
You turn the volume down on the DMN.
You effectively quiet this often noisy part of the brain.
Right.
The activity shifts away from the DMN and towards the networks involved in focused attention, like the ones we just discussed.
And the result is less chatter.
Less mental chatter, significantly reduced overthinking and rumination, and ultimately a clearer, more present, and sometimes even more expansive state of mind.
It creates space.
Exactly. It creates mental space, allowing for a much deeper sense of calm and presence.
Okay, so activating these specific areas, the prefrontal cortex, ACC, insula, and quieting the DMN, that's incredibly impactful on a structural level. But what's happening chemically? What's changing in the neurochemical soup?
That's the other half of the equation, and it's just as crucial. Deliberate breath focus isn't just about directing neural traffic. It orchestrates a really beautiful and beneficial symphony of neurochemicals.
A symphony, I like that. So what's the first instrument?
Let's start with GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. This is your brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter.
Inhibitory, so it slows things down.
Essentially, yes. It puts the brakes on overactive neural firing. Think of it as your brain's natural calming agent, or maybe a gentle sedative.
Ah, okay. So more GABA means?
An increase in GABA translates to a profound sense of calming, a noticeable reduction in feelings of anxiety, and a general quieting of the nervous system.
Like hitting the mute button on mental static.
That's a perfect analogy. It helps mute that internal static and agitation, allowing your brain to settle down from a state of maybe overwhelm or high alertness into one of peaceful clarity. It shifts the nervous system towards the parasympathetic, the rest and digest mode.
Okay, calming GABA. What else? You mentioned serotonin earlier in relation to mood.
Yes, serotonin plays a huge role. It's widely known for its crucial function in mood stabilization, regulating sleep cycles, and contributing to feelings of general well-being and contentment.
And breathing boosts it.
The research suggests that practices like deliberate breath focus can lead to an increase in serotonin levels or improve its function. This contributes directly to a more balanced, positive, and stable emotional state.
So it's not like a sudden jolt of happiness, but more like leveling things out.
Exactly. It's a foundational chemical for overall well-being. It impacts everything from your mood and sleep quality to digestion and even appetite, fostering a general sense of contentment and inner resilience. It builds a steady foundation.
Interesting. What about endorphins? I usually associate those with like a runner's high, intense exercise.
You're right. That's where they get the most press. But breath focus can also lead to a mild, more subtle release of endorphins.
Really? Even just sitting and breathing?
It seems so. While it's certainly not as dramatic as the flood you might get after a marathon, these are your body's natural opioid-like compounds. They act as natural painkillers and mood elevators.
So even a small release would feel good.
It contributes to a gentle sense of relaxation, a subtle easing of discomfort perhaps, and a mild inherent feeling of well-being. It's like a quiet internal reward for slowing down and engaging in self-regulation. A little bit of natural comfort.
Okay. GABA for calm, serotonin for stability, endorphins for subtle well-being, and the big one for stress, cortisol. What happens there? This seems critical.
It is absolutely critical, especially today. Conscious, deliberate breathing significantly lowers levels of cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone.
It lowers it directly.
Directly and measurably. Cortisol is vital for short-term fight or flight responses, getting you ready for action. But chronic high levels, which many of us experience.
Thanks to modern life.
Exactly. Chronic high cortisol is detrimental to nearly every system in your body. Immunity, digestion, sleep, memory, cognition, you name it.
So breathing is like hitting the brakes on cortisol production.
It's a direct biological mechanism for reducing physiological stress and mitigating those long-term damaging impacts. In a world saturated with constant stressors, this makes breathwork a uniquely powerful, immediate, and accessible antidote to chronic stress.
It's not just feeling calmer, it's an actual physiological change.
It's a profound biological shift that promotes both physical and mental health, a measurable reduction in the chemical signature of stress.
Wow, okay, so let's recap the breath part. You've got targeted brain activation, engaging the CEO, prefrontal cortex, the internal radar, ACC, the body sensor, Insula, and quieting the chatterbox, DMN. And then you've got these beneficial chemical shifts, boosting calming GABA, stabilizing serotonin, adding a touch of endorphins, and crucially, slashing cortisol.
That's a great summary.
So the net result is, what's the overall state it creates?
The net result is a state of profound, calm focus, enhanced emotional balance, steady, unwavering attention, and significantly lowered physiological stress.
It sounds like a superpower we all have access to.
It really is. It's a potent, immediate tool available to you anytime, anywhere, to recenter, regulate yourself, and optimize your mental and emotional state.
Think how useful that is. Before a big presentation, or maybe after a difficult conversation, or just to clear your head mid-afternoon.
Exactly. Or even just to start your day grounded. It's your own internal reset button, always within reach, always available.
Okay, so that's breath, our internal regulator, working from the inside out. Now let's switch gears to music. How does that compare?
Well, while breath helps us regulate from within, offering that foundational internal control, music provides an external, incredibly rich and varied pathway to modulate our inner world.
External stimulus, internal effect.
Precisely. And what's fascinating is how different types of music engage such distinct neural pathways and trigger different chemical responses. It paints this vast mosaic of emotional and cognitive experiences, incredibly specific to the genre.
Like different keys unlocking different rooms in the brain.
That's a perfect analogy. Each genre acts like a different key, opening up a unique internal experience.
Okay, let's start with a big one. Romantic or love songs, we've all felt that pull, that emotional punch. What's happening neurobiologically?
When you hear a romantic or love song, particularly one that resonates with you, your limbic system, the emotional core of the brain, lights up intensely.
Which parts specifically?
We see significant activity in the amygdala, which is critical for processing emotions, both positive and negative. But here, often tied to pleasure and connection. And crucially, the nucleus accumbens.
The reward center.
Exactly, a key part of the brain's reward circuit. This is where that powerful sense of pleasure, anticipation, maybe even longing or yearning comes from. It's that feeling of, oh, I love this part, or the emotional swell.
It's not just the lyrics then, it's the music itself hitting the reward button.
It's the combination, the melody, harmony, rhythm, and the emotional theme conveyed by lyrics or just the tone. The orbitofrontal cortex also gets involved.
What does that do?
It helps integrate the reward aspect with the deeper, often very personal, emotional meaning of the music. It helps us evaluate how valuable or meaningful this experience is to us.
Which is why certain songs feel intensely personal, almost like they were written for you.
Exactly. It connects the musical experience to our own memories, our desires, our past relationships, or even imagined futures related to connection and intimacy.
Tapping into that core human need for connection. And chemically, what's flooding our system when that perfect love song hits?
Dopamine is a major player. A significant release drives that pervasive feeling of pleasure and reward. It's often tied to the structure of the song itself, the anticipation of a chorus, the resolution of a musical phrase.
That build up and release.
Precisely. It's the feel-good chemical that makes you want to hit repeat, to experience that warmth and satisfaction again.
But it's more than just pleasure, right? You mentioned connection.
Yes, and this is key. There's often an increase in oxytocin.
The bonding chemical or love hormone.
That's the one. Love songs can powerfully trigger oxytocin release, fostering feelings of intimacy, trust, empathy, and social connection.
Even if you're listening alone.
Even if you're listening alone, it creates this profound sense of emotional warmth and belonging, almost mimicking the feelings of close human connection. It can connect you to the feeling of love itself, or to memories of loved ones.
Wow, so dopamine for pleasure, oxytocin for connection. Anything else?
We often see serotonin contributing again, providing a general mood lift, enhancing the overall positive emotional experience, and adding to that feeling of well-being the music evokes.
So the overall effect is this potent cocktail.
It creates this profound emotional warmth, often a surge of nostalgia, bringing back vivid memories or evoking imagined scenarios, and frequently a powerful desire for connection or a deepening of existing bonds.
It's amazing how a specific song can just instantly transport you, isn't it? Back to a first date or a wedding dance.
Or even just evoke a strong yearning for that kind of intimacy. It's an incredibly powerful modulator of our social and emotional brain circuits.
Okay, let's shift gears completely. Classical or instrumental music, often lauded for focus, creativity. What's the science there? It feels very different from a love song.
It engages the brain in a very different way. Classical music, especially complex pieces with intricate patterns, harmonies, and structures, heavily engages your prefrontal cortex.
The CEO again, but for a different task.
Exactly. Your brain isn't just passively listening, it's actively working. It's engaging in complex pattern recognition, structural analysis, predicting what might come next based on the patterns. It's like a cognitive workout.
Solving a pleasant puzzle.
In a way, yes. And the hippocampus, crucial for memory formation and integrating emotion with context, also plays a significant role.
How does the hippocampus fit in with instrumental music?
It helps connect the abstract musical narrative to existing feelings, memories, or knowledge. It helps make the abstract feel personally relevant, even without words. It might evoke a certain feeling landscape or link to a time you studied with similar music.
And presumably the hearing parts of the brain are active.
Oh, definitely. Your auditory cortex is obviously processing the complex soundscape. But interestingly, the motor cortex often shows activity too.
Even if you're sitting still.
Even if you're sitting still, it subtly responds to the rhythm and flow. Your brain is processing it as a complex sonic and rhythmic experience, maybe subtly priming your body for movement, even if it's just tapping your fingers unconsciously.
Chemically, is it still dopamine? Or something different?
Dopamine is involved, yes, but the pattern seems different from the intense surges we see with other genres. With classical music, it tends to be a smoother, more sustained release.
So not a sudden rush, but a steady flow.
Exactly. It's less about peak excitement and more about a steady, gratifying flow that encourages sustained attention, deep engagement, and a feeling of calm satisfaction rather than hyped up reward.
And maybe endorphins too, that feeling of gentle well-being.
Yes, there's often a subtle, sustained release of endorphins as well, contributing to a gentle sense of euphoria, reducing minor discomforts, and enhancing that calm focus without pushing you into overstimulation or distraction.
So you put all that together, the cognitive workout, the memory links, the smooth dopamine, the gentle endorphins. What's the result?
The result is often a balanced state of stimulation and relaxation. It can lead to enhanced cognitive clarity, better concentration, and often that elusive state of flow.
Ah, flow, where you're completely absorbed in what you're doing.
Precisely. It's why many people find classical or complex instrumental music ideal for studying, deep work, coding, writing, or creative tasks. It supports focused concentration without being jarring or overly distracting. It helps the brain settle into an optimal state for learning and productivity.
It's like it occupies just enough of your attention to keep the distracting thoughts at bay, but not so much that it pulls focus from your main task.
It's a very good way to describe it. It provides structure and engagement without demanding all your cognitive resources.
Okay, now let's swing to the other end of the spectrum. Energetic, pop, or dance music, the kind that makes you want to move.
Right, the physical reaction is almost immediate, isn't it?
Totally. So what's happening there? Is it just the beat?
The beat is huge, but it's more than that. When an energetic track comes on, your motor cortex activates almost instantly. It's not just a suggestion. It's creating that near irresistible urge to move, tap your foot, bob your head, or just get up and dance.
A primal urge.
It feels like it, doesn't it? It's a very direct physical response, connecting the rhythm straight to your body's readiness for action.
And the reward system must be going wild.
Absolutely. Your brain's reward circuit, especially the nucleus accumbens, gets flooded with a significant dopamine surge. This creates intense anticipation waiting for the beat drop, the next chorus, and a feeling of excitement and pleasure.
You're chasing that next hit.
In a way, yes, you're driven by that powerful reward signal. And simultaneously, the amygdala gets involved, heightening your emotional excitement. It makes you feel alive, thrilled, pumped up.
That's the biology behind getting into the groove.
It really is. That feeling of exhilaration, like the music is physically pulling you along with its energy.
Okay, chemically, this sounds like a party. Big dopamine surge. What else?
It's a powerhouse combination. That big, sharp dopamine surge is the primary driver. The strong reward signal fueling anticipation and the immediate high. It's why these songs can feel so addictive and motivating.
Makes you want more.
Definitely. But alongside dopamine, you often get a significant release of adrenaline or noradrenaline.
Ah, the energy hormone.
Exactly. This heightens alertness, sharpens your senses, reduces feelings of fatigue, and provides a significant burst of physical energy. It primes your whole system for action.
Like fight or flight, but fun.
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's channeling that arousal system into a positive, high-energy, exciting experience rather than a threat response.
And endorphins, like with exercise.
Yes, especially if you are moving or dancing along.
Yeah.
Energetic music, particularly combined with physical activity, can trigger a significant endorphin release. Very similar to a runner's high.
So it feels good and makes you feel less tired.
Right. It contributes to feelings of exhilaration, a sense of almost boundless energy, and can even reduce perceptions of discomfort or fatigue, allowing you to push harder during a workout, for example.
So the overall effect is pretty clear here.
Yeah, it's a potent mood boost, significant motivation, and a surge of raw physical energy. This is your go-to soundtrack for workouts, for getting hyped before an event, or just shaking off morning grogginess and kickstarting your day with vitality.
It's like a direct injection of get up and go.
A primal call to action that often bypasses conscious thought. Your body just responds.
Okay, one more category, and it's maybe the most intriguing: sad or melancholic songs. Why do we choose these sometimes? It seems counterintuitive if you want to feel better.
It is a fascinating paradox, isn't it? But listening to sad music can be profoundly impactful and often strangely beneficial.
How so? What's the brain doing?
Well, the amygdala is definitely involved again, processing the emotional weight of the music, allowing you to connect with those deeper, more complex feelings like sorrow or nostalgia.
So it lets you feel the sadness.
Yes, but in a controlled way. And your prefrontal cortex engages too, but perhaps more in self-reflection. It allows you the mental space to process the emotional content, maybe contemplate the themes or lyrics, without necessarily getting overwhelmed by raw emotion.
Thinking about the sadness, not just being consumed by it.
Potentially, yes. And the hippocampus is often highly active, linking the music to autobiographical memories.
Ah, so it brings up past experiences.
It often does. It can bring forth memories associated with similar feelings or past experiences of loss or longing, allowing for contemplation. It's partly why we sometimes actively choose sad music, even when feeling down. It's a way to engage with and process our emotions safely, rather than just trying to suppress or avoid them.
Providing a safe container for difficult feelings.
Exactly. Chemically, it's also quite unique and highlights the complexity here. We often see a mixed release of dopamine and prolactin.
Dopamine with sad music. That seems weird.
It's not the same surge as with energetic music. It seems to provide a kind of soothing pleasure, maybe a bittersweet feeling, even amidst the sadness. A gentle comfort.
And prolactin, what does that do?
Prolactin is a hormone often associated with emotional regulation, and it can be released after crying or during periods of emotional distress. Its presence here might contribute to that feeling of soothing sadness. It allows for an emotional processing that feels comforting and releasing, rather than just painful or raw.
Like the feeling after a good cry, that sense of release.
Something like that, potentially facilitated by the music. And sometimes, interestingly, there can also be a mild increase in oxytocin.
Oxytocin with sadness.
It might foster a sense of shared human experience or empathy. Even if the sadness feels intensely personal, the music can create a feeling of connection, like I'm not alone in feeling this way. It taps into a universal human experience of sorrow or loss.
A sense of common humanity.
Precisely. So this unique blend, the brain activity allowing reflection, the dopamine providing bittersweet comfort, The prolactin aiding release, the oxytocin fostering connection facilitates catharsis.
Ah, catharsis, the purging of emotion.
Deep emotional processing and significant self-reflection. It's a powerful way for your brain to engage with and work through difficult emotions in a safe, controlled environment, often leading to a sense of emotional release, deeper understanding, and ultimately moving through the feeling.
So it's not about wallowing necessarily, but about processing.
When used constructively, yes. It allows you to feel, process, and then potentially move forward, rather than getting stuck or suppressing feelings, which is incredibly important for long-term emotional health.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground, the deep internal regulation of breath, and the incredibly varied external influence of music across different genres.
We really have. From the inside out with breath and the outside in with music.
So now let's bring it all together. Let's really compare these two powerful tools head to head. Where do they align and where do they really diverge? Based on everything we've discussed.
Okay, let's do the grand comparison.
Let's start with a brain focus comparison. Where is our brain's attention actually going with breath versus music?
With breathing, as we said, the focus is intense, it's inward, it's about pure attention and body awareness, grounding you firmly in the present moment in your physical self.
The goal is internal regulation, stability.
Exactly. It's a direct feedback loop between mind and body, constantly monitoring and adjusting your internal state. The prefrontal cortex, ACC, Insula, they're all working together to keep your attention tethered right there inside.
Okay, very focused, very internal. And songs?
Songs cast a much, much wider net. It's a broad spectrum of engagement.
Not just one focus point.
Not at all. Music engages reward centers, bonding circuits with romantic tunes. It engages cognitive analysis areas with classical. It fires up motor planning with energetic beats. It dives deep into memory and emotion with sad songs.
It pulls the brain in many different directions, sometimes all at once.
Right. It activates a diverse array of cognitive and emotional processing centers, depending entirely on the music's characteristics. So the focus is much more multifaceted and externally driven compared to the singular internal focus of breath work.
So if breath is like using a laser pointer, very direct, very focused inward,
then music is more like a floodlight, or maybe even a disco ball, right? Illuminating many different areas of the brain, eliciting varied reactions based on its specific qualities: rhythm, melody, harmony, lyrics.
One is foundational inward control. The other is versatile outward influence.
That sums it up nicely. Breath is your internal compass, always helping you find your center. Music is more like a map, allowing you to consciously travel to specific emotional or cognitive destinations.
Okay, now let's compare the main chemicals. This seems like a really clear point of difference. What's the signature chemical profile for breathing again?
For breathing, it's quite consistent and targeted. Increased GABA for calm, increased serotonin for stability, mild endorphins for subtle well-being.
A recipe for calm stability.
Exactly. The combination consistently pushes the system toward calm, balance, and stress reduction. It's a reliable chemical formula for physiological regulation, rebalancing the system.
And songs, chemically speaking.
Oh, it's a veritable chemical smorgasbord, highly dependent on the genre, the tempo, even your personal history with the song.
A custom cocktail every time.
Pretty much. Dopamine is a common thread, yes, providing reward, but how it's released varies dramatically. That smooth flow with classical versus sharp surges with pop.
And then the specific additions for each genre.
Right. You get oxytocin layered in for bonding with love songs. You get prolactin, adding that soothing quality to sad songs. You get adrenaline kicking in for energy with dance tracks. Each genre crafts a distinct chemical signature designed to produce a very specific internal state.
Tailored chemical release.
Precisely. It's a specific chemical release for the particular emotional or physical state you want to achieve or experience.
So if breath aims for that steady, homeostatic balance, bringing you back to baseline,
music is all about modulation. It's like pushing specific buttons on your neurochemical control panel, stirring distinct emotions, creating targeted peaks and valleys in your chemical landscape.
an audio interface for your brain chemistry.
I like that.
Yeah.
It allows you to consciously dial in specific feelings or energy levels, from intense elation to deep focus or emotional release. Less about overall balance, more about specific, powerful shifts.
Which naturally leads to the effect comparison. What's the bottom line experience or outcome for each?
Okay, breathing. The effect is consistent. Calm, emotional balance, steady attention, and direct tangible stress relief. It's uniform, it's foundational, it reliably brings you back to a centered, regulated state.
Your anchor, dependable.
Exactly. You know what you're going to get. It's like consistent maintenance for your nervous system.
And songs, the effects are
All over the map, in the best way. Songs offer this incredibly diverse palette, profound emotional warmth and intimacy, balanced focus and flow state, bursts of intense energy and motivation, deep catharsis and emotional processing.
It's about achieving very specific, distinct states.
Tailored precisely to the music you choose. If breath creates the stable platform, music builds all sorts of different structures on that platform, each serving a unique purpose.
So, the takeaway for using them, if you need that reliable, immediate reset, especially when stressed or overwhelmed.
Breath is your go-to. It's the consistent, always-on tool for recentering.
But if you need a specific shift, energy boost, focus enhancement, emotional connection, or processing.
Music provides that targeted, powerful control. They serve different, yet totally complementary purposes. You've got a comprehensive toolkit there.
Breath as the thermostat, setting the bright line, music as the mood lighting, changing the atmosphere.
That's a fantastic way to visualize it.
Okay, one last crucial comparison. Cortisol, the stress hormone. This seemed like a major difference.
It really is. This is where breathwork specifically truly stands out. As we discussed, intentional slow breathing leads to a significant direct decrease in cortisol levels.
Measurable physiological stress reduction.
Yes, it's a direct intervention. This makes breathwork a uniquely powerful and consistently effective tool for managing physiological stress, regardless of your emotional state at the time. It's your fundamental stress extinguisher.
And music's effect on cortisol, much fuzzier.
Much more varied and complex. It's not a one-size-fits-all stress buster in the same way breath is.
How so?
Well, calming music, like classical or some romantic pieces, can decrease cortisol, contributing to relaxation. That aligns with the breathwork effect.
Okay, but energetic music.
Energetic music might actually increase cortisol slightly. That adrenaline rush, the excitement, the arousal is stimulating, which is a form of stress, albeit potentially positive stress or eustress.
Right, like the excitement before a competition. It's stress, but motivating.
Exactly. And sad music. It's mixed.
Mixed how?
It could lower cortisol through catharsis. That emotional release can be physiologically calming afterwards. But if the sad music triggers deep rumination or prolonged distress without resolution, it could potentially raise or sustain cortisol levels.
So it depends heavily on your personal reaction and how you process it.
Absolutely. This is a critical distinction. Music's effect on your stress physiology is highly nuanced and depends entirely on the emotional and physical response it evokes in you.
So for pure, consistent, physiological downregulation of stress,
Breath seems to have the most direct, reliable, and universally beneficial pathway. It consistently calms the physiological stress response system.
while music offers this diverse range of emotional and cognitive shifts, its impact on the core stress hormone, cortisol, is much more dependent on the context and the individual. Conscious choice becomes key.
Precisely. You need to be attuned to how different music actually makes you feel, physically and emotionally, if your goal is stress reduction via music. Breath offers the consistent reset. Music offers the varied modulation with more complex effects on stress hormones.
Okay, this has been incredibly illuminating. Let's try to synthesize the key takeaways.
Sounds good.
So, first big insight. Intentionally focusing on your breath is this fundamental, super reliable tool. It directly stabilizes your neurochemistry, profoundly reduces physiological stress markers like cortisol, and sharpens your attention.
It's your internal anchor. Always there, always consistent. Your baseline regulator.
And the second big insight, songs, music, are incredibly potent modulators. They work on the brain's reward and emotion systems in highly specific ways.
Exactly. Each type offers a distinct pathway, fostering bonding, inducing flow, generating arousal, enabling catharsis. They're like external levers for precise internal shifts, dialing in specific states.
So translating this into practical application, what does this mean for you listening right now in your daily life?
It means you have these direct, scientifically backed tools readily available. You can consciously sculpt your mental and emotional landscape rather than just being passively swept along by it.
It's empowering knowledge.
Absolutely. Think about integrating breathwork as a daily habit. Even just a few minutes, maybe first thing in the morning to ground yourself, or before a potentially stressful meeting or conversation.
Or when you feel that anxiety creeping up.
Perfect time. Or if you just need to improve your focus before tackling a complex task. A few minutes of conscious breathing, slow, deliberate breaths can be profoundly effective.
Your immediate biological reset button.
Exactly. Use it as a mindful pause throughout your day. Waiting in line, walking somewhere, transition moments, it recenters you.
And then strategic music choices. This is about being intentional, isn't it?
Very intentional. Think consciously about the state you want to achieve before you hit play.
Need to power through a workout or clean the house.
Blast some energetic pop or dance music. Get that dopamine and adrenaline surge working for you. Need motivation? Need energy. That's your go-to.
What about deep concentration? Writing codes, studying, creative work?
That's where classical or complex instrumental music might be your ideal ally. Aiming for that smooth dopamine flow, that balanced focus, that flow state.
And if you're feeling sentimental, nostalgic, wanting to feel connected,
lean into those romantic tunes. Invite that oxytocin boost to foster feelings of warmth, intimacy, and connection.
And crucially, if you need to process difficult emotions, sadness, grief,
don't shy away from melancholic songs if that feels right. Remember, our dive showed they can be truly cathartic. They can provide a safe space to feel, process, and understand those complex emotions in a healthy way. It's not about wallowing, it's about allowing.
So the core message isn't that one is better than the other, breath versus music.
Not at all. They are different tools for different jobs. It's about understanding the specific neural and chemical responses each one triggers.
So you can make deliberate, informed choices.
Exactly. Choices about what you're exposing your brain to, and more importantly, how you want to influence your own internal state at any given moment. You're not just a passive recipient.
You're an active participant, an architect of your inner world.
A conscious architect.
Yeah.
Using these innate capabilities for optimal well-being.
We've really journeyed deep today into the neural pathways, the chemical reactions. These profound responses we have to something as simple as breathing and something as ubiquitous as music.
Things that seem like everyday actions, but are actually incredibly sophisticated biological processes.
Processes we can understand, and crucially, processes we can leverage for our own benefit.
Absolutely. The knowledge itself is powerful.
So here's a final thought for you to carry forward from this deep dive. If we can understand with this level of precision how something as fundamental as our breath and something as pervasive and varied as music directly influence our brain's chemistry and function, what if this knowledge allows us to move beyond just reacting to how we feel and towards actively designing our emotional and cognitive landscapes with unprecedented precision?
That's a powerful question.
How might you personally use this deeper understanding to cultivate the very state you desire? Focus, calm, energy, connection, release exactly when you need it most, becoming in effect the conductor of your own inner symphony. Something to really contemplate. Keep exploring, keep listening.
And most importantly, keep breathing.